What you are going to learn today is the secret to how those people who manage to keep it together all the time and don't take the bait, how do they do that? It's because they know a couple of things. Let's talk about what they know. First of all, they know the difference between form and substance. The words that you say, the things you do, the actions you take, that's the form of the message that you're sending to the world. Remember, there's a Trinity of Relationship. There's three parts. There are three parts to our relationship with a capital R. Those three parts are, I have a relationship with myself, I have a relationship with my maker, and I have a relationship with everyone else on the planet. Those three branches of relationship may appear to be separate. One of the 9 principles is believing in separation is insanity. You can't separate them. They are inseparable. Just like you can't separate the relationship that you have with your child and the relationship you have with those bitches at work. You think you can, you try, but you can't, because it'll come out. And you'll hear people say things like, whoa, what's with you? And you'll be like, I'm sorry, I had a bad day at work. That's just one example. That's just an example. We are in relationship. We are communing. That's what we're here doing. I can't separate my substance from my form. I can't learn some cheap parlor trick on TikTok and believe that I can go into work and suddenly no one will get to me, and I'll be able to say the right thing and do the right thing regardless of the circumstances around me. That is an impossibility unless you first deal with what's really going on, the substance of your message. The substance of your message is you. That's the substance. And the challenge that so many people face is all they want to do is say, like, I'm Dan O'Connor. I've been a communication skills trainer and a tactical communication pioneer for my whole life, over 25 years, almost about 30 years. Every single time, the first issue that I have to clarify, the question is not, what do I say when? The question does not begin with, what do I do when? If you're starting there, you're doomed. You can only fake so much. And bullies, narcissists, gaslighters, toxic people at work. You know how bullies back in high school, they sniff out fear? There's nothing you can do. If you have fear, they will sniff it out. Well, the same goes for when we are dealing with anything, any type of interpersonal relationship. You can't fake being grounded. You can't fake knowing who you are. It will be revealed in something that you say or do. And whether it's on a conscious or unconscious level, people know if you don't have it together. People know if you don't know who you are. People know if they have the power and can tell you who you are. They know that, and they will take advantage of it, because there are two types of people. Those that try to elevate you even higher than you are, no matter if that surpasses them. And then there are people who try to drag you down so that you can't go any farther than they are, because if they can't, you can't. So you stick in the mud with them. They want to hold you down. Those are the only two types. There is no in between. There is none. Two types. And the types that want to drag you down and hold you in the mud so you can wallow with them, that type will sniff it out if you don't know who you are. If they can rattle your cage, if they can get you to forget who you are. Because here's what we want to remember. First of all, if you are trying to improve your communication skills at work, if you're trying to deal with difficult people more effectively, if you are trying to improve your interpersonal skills, if you are trying to raise your emotional intelligence, remember, you can't do it by trying to just skip past the substance and go right to form. Let's say that you're entering the Kentucky Derby. You can't say, how do I, at the end of the race, cross that finish line first? How do I do that? How do I get across the finish line fastest? It's not really about that. I mean, you have to get to the finish line, right? That's where actually most of the work will come in. It's not about when you're at the finish line. That's when you're done with the race. That's when you're done. When you arrive at the finish line, tells you what you did and how well you did it to get there, right? Crossing the finish line is easy once you're there. Crossing it first means you knew how to get there right. How do we do that? You have to have a tool, because this is not normal. It is not natural, and it is not normal for people to know how to keep it together and to keep calm amidst chaos. If you are surrounded by chaos, I will guarantee you it is you. And I don't mean to say that harshly, but it is you, because you know that person at work, oh gosh, it's always the same thing. We all have different forms of the same challenge, where when I'm dealing with a group of people, there will be one person who's like, oh, you couldn't believe this, how toxic this place. You have no idea how toxic this place is, Dan. No idea. It's bad. I don't know what they told you, but if they didn't tell you that this was a hellhole, they lied.
I love you.
And then there's one person, oh, hi, Megs. Hi, honey. Then there's... Say hi, she came back from heaven. Then there's
I love you, I do.
I know, baby.
I love
Then
you.
there's the other person.
I love you.
Who is
I gotta go.
totally the opposite, who will tell you, if I say to them, for example, well, Magnolia, tell me, I don't hear you talking about these things. What do you think is the problem here? And Magnolia will be like,
What? There's a problem. What are you talking about? What? No, I don't let that stuff get to me. No, I don't. I know. I think this is great. No, I love everybody here.
and people will look at Magnolia like, you're a liar. Magnolia's like,
what? I don't let it get to me. I don't. I just don't let it get to me. I don't. So you guys can talk about whatever you need to do. I'm okay. I'm okay.
and she is. Magnolia's fine. Why? Because she knows who she is. There's form and there's substance. You can't make a Caesar salad out of iceberg lettuce. Magnolia is pure romaine. I'm going to choose a different, analogy the next time. I didn't think of that one far enough in advance. But the words, your actions, what you do, that is the form of your message. That is how you are communing with the world. You are what is communing with the world. You're the substance. And when you start with the substance, when you focus on that and make sure that it is what it should be, form takes shape naturally. If I needed to make beautiful gold jewelry and I was making it out of brass, I can try as I may, I'm not going to get Tiffany-worthy jewelry. I don't know if Tiffany's good or not, but I'm just thinking it might be. I'm not going to do it. If I were using a sow's ear, I'm not going to make a Coach purse. Is that better? But if I know what the substance should be and make sure that it is as it should be, then form takes shape naturally. It is easy to make a Caesar salad when you have fresh, delicious romaine lettuce, when you have delicious, high-quality olive oil, when you have the Parmesan cheese, I'm drooling, that's aged to perfection. And you have the Worcestershire sauce, Lee and Perrins. You can't use other Worcestershire sauce. You have to use Lee and Perrins. You have to have fresh cracked pepper. With those ingredients that I just mentioned there, I would not put an egg in there. I don't need Campylobacter, and it doesn't make it taste any better. If you have just those ingredients, your Caesar salad, you can't miss. You can't miss. You can't make a silk purse out of a sow's ear. And to make sure that you are not reflecting the people around you at work, that you are something other than a simple reflection of the chaos and the toxic people, you have to have a personal compass. Here's what it is, how it works, and how to use it. If you're watching and you do not have a workbook, if you're not in our course, I'll provide a link for it. Just click the link, download your workbook. And if you wanted to join our course on this, we do have a group. I have not yet opened it to the public, and there's still a waiting list, but we do have a group that I work with. And if you wanted to join that group, send me an email, dan@danoconnor.training.com. Let me know, and I'll put you on the waiting list, okay? And what you want to do is, there are 3 core statements that you must be able to remember and recite. Because remember, it is not about learning something new. If you are struggling with communication issues, leadership issues, toxic people, customer service issues, any type of communication issue, and I'm telling you this because I know, if you are trying to deal with those issues and learn something new to help you with your internal struggles, you will not be successful. Because the only way that you can keep your calm when everybody else is going crazy, the only way that you can effectively communicate when everybody's trying to get you to forget who you are, the only way you can do that is by not learning anything, but remembering things. It's not about learning something new all the time. The important things in our life, things like with a capital letter, like our relationship with ourself, with our maker, with everyone else on the planet, the Trinity, with a capital T, those aren't things you learn. They're things you remember. And what we want to do is, in those moments, in that sliver in time between event and response, when It's important, especially, because normally we don't even recognize the important moments in our life until it's in retrospection. We think, oh, I really blew that. Or, oh, I'm so glad that I was prepared. Be prepared. There is a sliver in time where it's between event and response. It's between something that's happening and how I respond to it. It is precisely in those moments, in those slivers in time, the choices that we make form the fabric of our destiny in those moments. Don't screw it up. Be prepared. To be prepared and to see an instant result, instant changes in your life. There are 3 questions that you want to answer. 3 sentences, I'll say, that you want to end. Number 1, who are you? Write a sentence. All it is 3 words. I am blank. For example, I am compassionate. That's mine today. It could change tomorrow, and it maybe should change. For you, we might change these all the time. You do not need to get it perfect. There is no perfect. There is no right. But you want to have a sentence that reminds you who you are. Not teaches you, reminds you. I'm loving. I speak words of love. That's what I'm here to do. I'm here to demonstrate what being loving looks like. Because it sure appears as though the people around me have totally forgotten that that's their natural state, that that's natural for us to be loving, to give and receive great love at the same time while getting all your needs met with difficult people in a toxic environment that's trying to gaslight you. That's natural for you. It is natural for you to find joy in every corner of your life. That's natural. It is natural for you to effectively communicate with other people. Why? Because the most natural communication is just loving communication. And that's what we have forgotten how to do. We don't need to learn. We need to remember. Be loving. Just when in doubt, choose loving words. That said, who are you? I am blank. What tends to happen is people will forget themselves. And it appears as though, when I watch people interact with one another at work, it appears as though they're thinking to themselves, who am I? I'm a nasty bitch, and I'm here to make you miserable because I want misery in my life, and I'm going to get it. That's what is going through their mind, obviously, because that's reflected in the words that they speak. Form follows substance. How'd you like to change that? I mean, oh, God, misery. And I have to remember, they just don't know any better, because if they did, there's no going back. There's no going back. When I realize that I can achieve all of my goals while being loving, I mean, I don't mean just being nice. I mean being loving. Telling my coworkers, you know what? I love you, and I want what's best for you. I'm going to push you up. I'm going to elevate you above where I am if I can, because I love you, and I want that for you. How do you think your work would change if that happened, if that's how people related to one another? That's how we're supposed to be relating to one another, and we're on that track. Don't be left behind. Demonstrate how to do that. I am loving. There you go. That can be your 1 sentence. Number 2 sentence. I'm here to blank. If you don't have anything, because sometimes really we have forgotten ourselves so much that we don't have any clue what we're here to do. And I don't mean what your job is. What are you here to do while you're doing your job? I'm here to love. That's good enough. I'm here to enjoy myself. That's mine. And what do you want? Have you forgotten? If I were to say, what do you want out of life right now? Most people could never finish that sentence spontaneously. Never. Ask 100 people to fill in the blanks. I am blank. I'm here to blank. I want blank. So don't feel bad if you can't fill in those blanks right now like that. Nobody can. Ask 100 people. Nobody can. 1 person will. They've either taken my course or in some other way they learned how to make a personal compass. Simple. But if you don't do it in advance, you will not remember who you are. How could you possibly remember who you are when everybody's trying to get you to forget it and you never took the time to remember it? So I want what? What do you want? I want financial independence. That's what I want. So I am loving. I'm here to enjoy myself, and I want financial independence. That's my 3-sentence personal compass. Now, here's what you do. Somebody says something or does something, and you think to yourself, oh, you did not. And you're about to show them who can really be a bitch, who can really be nasty. You're about to show them, oh, you think you can be a difficult person? You have no idea. You think you can gaslight people? Watch. You want attention? I'm going to stonewall you to the end of time. Don't do that. Because that is letting the people around us dictate to us who we are. That makes no sense. That is insanity. We are becoming insane. We are buying into the group, what do they call that? Group psychosis? Craziness. Imagine what would happen if, instead of these crazy thoughts going through your head, before you spoke, there was something that helped you remember, oh, wait a minute, I'm loving. I'm here to enjoy myself and I want financial independence. What I'm about to say, I don't think is in line with that and will not bring me closer to any of those things. It's not reflective of any of those things, won't help me become any of those things, won't help me remember any of those things. What I'm saying is simply a reflection of you. And you know what, Trixie? This isn't about you. God bless you. With all of the love in the universe that I could possibly muster, I'm going to release you and the chains that I put on you and apologize silently to you for thinking that you're going to be in charge of my happiness and putting that burden on you when I'm sure, especially given the evidence at hand, you have a lot of other things going on right now to put on top of everything that you have going on. You're obviously a little confused. You're obviously a little emotionally charged. You must have something going on because look at this outfit that you're wearing. You didn't have time to even pick one out. You must have done this in the dark. And on top of all of that, I have chosen you to be the keeper of my happiness. I'm going to place that in your hands. And if you mess up, I'm going to blame you. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense when you think of it that way, does it? Or how about this? I could release you from those chains. By the way, therefore, ipso facto, release myself from any chains that I or you have put on me regarding you and the way you feel. They're all released. There's one relationship here. There is no separation. So I'm releasing you. I'm releasing myself in turn at the same time. And instead of reacting to what you just said, I'm going to know that not one word could you possibly say that's about me. Every word that you speak is all about you. Even if you're saying it's to me, about me, you are trying to, tarnish my reputation. You are trying to sabotage my success. You are backstabbing me. You are gossiping about me. That's not about me. And the sooner that I can get that through my head, really get it through my head, not just in a esoteric way, think, well, everything you say is about you, isn't it? It's not about me. That's the truth. I just need to remember that. It is an impossibility that what I'm saying to you has anything to do with you. What I say to you is nothing more than a testament to the person I believe myself to be. No more, no less. Because however I'm interpreting what's going on here, whatever I'm seeing here, I'm not seeing with my eyes. I'm seeing with my brain. And more than anything else, I'm seeing with my heart. Am I seeing through a loving heart? Or am I seeing through a bitter heart that can't stand to watch anybody have any happiness when there's not enough to go around and I don't have much left? Don't you take mine? Or I could think, there's an abundance of love. There could not possibly be a bottom to this well. So if you don't have some, that's unfortunate, but I'm going to reflect who I am as I respond to you. And whatever you say and did, even if it was directed towards me, I realize that it's very unfortunate if you're not showing me love. So I'm going to remember who I am, why I'm here, and what I want. And the words that I'll speak to you are going to reflect that. How about that? And I know that sounds really good. We can't do that every time. You can do it one more time tomorrow. I remember the first time I picked up the phone and it was my mother. Normally I'd be like, oh. But I remember thinking to myself, wait a minute, I'm an honorable son who's here to love my mother, and I'm so grateful that I have one. It's even that one. I'm joking. When I hung up the phone, I remember hanging. You will remember. I can't wait. Please tell me what happens, because I hung up the phone and I thought to myself, when I was done with the call that I first used my compass, I thought, oh my God, I just chose to be kind to my mother. Of all the things I could have chosen to do, I would never regret that. Never. That's who I am becoming. That's who I'm remembering that I am. And that was a long time ago. It comes much more naturally now, much easier. And we have to sometimes practice small. You know what I mean? You don't need to get it right at every time. You don't need to. If you develop and use a personal compass, you will get it right once more tomorrow. Once more. It could be with a stranger where you remember before you respond to them who you are, why you're here, and what you want. Because as a social experiment tomorrow, I would like you to observe the people with whom you work without saying anything to them. Answer the questions. What do you see as their purpose, as who they believe they are, and their needs? What are they saying? What are they doing? How are they communing with their environment? What message are they sending? What do they want? Why are they here? And who are they? You can tell. You can tell like that. And you can tell there will be one person who you'll say, oh my God. And then you'll talk to them and be like, you will never be wrong. When you say to somebody, can I ask you a question? Do you have like a personal mission statement, a personal compass, something like that? They'll be like, yeah, I do. And you'll be like, I knew it. You'll never get it wrong again because you can tell a mile away. 1 out of 1,000 people will have one. You can tell. They're the ones who don't look like they want to jump off the roof at lunchtime. They're the ones whose family can still stand to be around them. They're the ones who appreciate life and every day is an adventure. They're the ones who can come into work and show great love and receive great love and get all of their needs met and are not trying to figure out how to retire early because the medications are out of control and taking a toll on them. They've lost enough relationships. They want to salvage whatever little bit they have left. No. They're people who get it and enjoy their life because they know who they are, why they're here, and what they want. Form follows substance. And I can't wait to hear the stories. Please tell me how this will change because what happens is this. When you write down, when you put pen to paper, you cannot do this in your head. If you're going to do that, just skip to the next parlor trick on YouTube because it won't work. Pen to paper. The people who first put pen to paper and started writing down goals and mission statements, they were called witches and wizards and they were burned because their power was so great, people got freaked out. When you put pen to paper, you are acting and putting into action your thoughts. The universe conspires in your favor to help you every single time. When you write this down, here's what the universe will do. If you write down, for example, I'm here to be loving, they will send a master teacher your way, not to love you, but to say, you're loving, huh?
Try to love this.
And you will get a chance to practice being loving and patient and compassionate and all of those things. And you know what? You'll do it. Then you go to the next level, and it will be next level challenges that you will then master. And you'll be so proud of yourself and your control and your self-esteem and your confidence will be off the charts because if you know who you are, why you're here, and what you want, you will always have the right words. You will always do what's right because you don't need to learn how. You need to remember. That's how you do it.